Hello everyone, this is GCat and today we're in Greenock, that's the Clyde down there, and we're here to explore the old Princess Pier railway line. Now, Greenock still has a railway line of course, as I'm showing you here, but there's also used to be another railway line, the old Princess Pier line, the Glasgow and South Western Railways line, and that's the one we're going to explore. So I'm at Cartsburn near the viaduct. We can't get onto the viaduct, it's quite securely fenced, so we're going to walk the other way into the cutting towards the old Princess Pier station. One thing you'll notice is that there is actually track down for most of this line, and that's quite nice. Adds a bit of visual interest. It's quite unusual that for a disused railway line. In fact, I think this is only the third one I've ever visited that still has the track down. So you can see a couple of bridges coming up ahead now. We're in quite a steep-sided, deep cutting. The first bridge is an aqueduct of some sort. It carries some sort of water course over the line. I'm not sure what. It's a bit leaky underneath. There's water dripping down. And it's such a cold morning that it's actually created some quite nice ice formations where the drips have all frozen, where they hit the vegetation below. So that's quite pretty. So the second bridge is the Drumfrocker Road Bridge. This is where one of the more major roads crosses the line. And look, that's nice, someone's left the fence open for me, so no need to be climbing over or squeezing through gaps, I can just walk round, that's good. And just beyond here you can see the remains of the old liner dock station. This is the only station we'll be seeing today. And the last time I was here, it was so overgrown, it was the middle of summer and you could hardly see the platforms. So it's quite nice to come back and actually be able to see them properly. Although the lack of vegetation also means I'm much more likely to be seen walking along here, but I don't think that really matters. I don't think anyone really cares if I come down here. It's just a wasteland, really. So up ahead now we can see the Liner Dock Street tunnels just as the platforms come to an end. Although technically they're tunnels, they're not really very long, they're more like just wide bridges to be honest. I wouldn't really count them as tunnels, but anyway. The main line tunnel is the one you can see just ahead of me there. There's also a goods tunnel which is down to the right in the trees, you'll see that in a minute. The goods line used to double back from beyond the main line tunnel to a goods station down to the right. Now one thing you'll notice is these look quite wide for single track tunnels, and that's because they weren't originally single track tunnels. It was a double track line. It was rebuilt as single track when they started to use it for container trains to the container terminal at Princess Pier to make sure that the containers would be able to fit through the structures. And despite the shortness, it does have those location marker plates like the longer tunnels usually have. Coming to the end of the mainline tunnel now. Let's turn around and have a quick look down into the goods tunnel. I'm not going to go right through, well I don't think I can go right through because it's blocked by palisade fence at the other end. And I'm not even going to go too close to the other end because there's a live industrial site there now with CCTV and stuff, and I don't want to draw attention to myself. But I am going to go in here just so that I can say that I've been in here and tick it off my list of tunnels, because I am that sad. I actually do have a list of tunnels. Now that high red stone arched bridge up ahead is the Myrn Street Bridge, and that's the most impressive bridge on the Princess Pier branch, I think. And in quite a deep cutting here, you can see the steeply sloping masonry retaining walls on either side. We're quite a long way down below Greenock. It doesn't really feel as if we're in a town, in fact. We're so cut off from the streets and houses and everything. So up ahead here is the Trafalgar Street Tunnel, and this will be the highlight of our Explorer today. This is definitely a proper tunnel at 420 yards, not like that previous one. So let's get inside and have a look. My torch on for you. See the icicles up above there. Very cold morning. So as you can see, it's pretty dark up ahead. The tunnel has an almost sort of S-bend shape to it, so you can't see the other end straight away, even though the middle bit's mostly straight. You see the markers on the walls, you see the blaze of light behind us, where the portal recedes into the distance. Now there's quite a few refuges in the walls as arched openings, you can see one of them there. And now I'm going to show a photo that I took the first time I explored this tunnel, because it's a nice light painted picture. Gives you a bit of a better idea of what it actually looks like in here than you can get from the dark video. Now even though I'm well used to these places by now, I still got a bit of a fright coming back through here today, because I saw a pinprick of light in the darkness ahead of me. It looked like a torch coming towards me. I was a bit worried until I realised it was just the light of my torch shining back off one of the reflectors. It was at a bit of a strange angle on the wall. So yeah, these places can, play tricks on your senses, even if you're used to them. Anyway, we're back out into the daylight now, and this is where it gets interesting, for me at least, because this is as far as I got the last time I explored this line. The cutting floor was just completely waterlogged at this point, and I didn't have my wellies with me, so I had to turn back to avoid getting wet feet. And today I do have my wellies, so that's a lot better, and also the ground's mostly frozen solid, so I should be able to pass through and get a bit further. So this tunnel we're coming up to is the Orangefield Tunnel, also known as the Wellington Street Tunnel, because it passes under Wellington Street at a very skewed angle. As you can see, it's still quite wet underfoot just here, but nowhere near as bad as it was on my last visit. So obviously shorter tunnel than the last one. I think this is just over 100 yards long, this one. Don't really even need a torch for it, but I put my torch on anyway just to pick out some more of the detail for you guys watching on the video. Now you might be wondering why Greenock had two railway lines. The answer is there was a lot of competition during the railway mania of the 19th century. The big companies building rival lines for each other, trying to steal each other's traffic. Although down here on the Clyde coast it was a big major tourist destination at the time, so there was probably more than enough traffic to go round for both the Caledonian and the Glasgow and South Western railways. Now on the right hand side up ahead of me, you might just be able to make out something orange running away. It's a fox that I disturbed. It was probably used to having this cutting all to itself, and not surprisingly not very happy when I come clumping along wearing my big welly boots and causing a lot of noise and everything. See two more bridges up ahead here, although the second one is another one that's officially a tunnel. It's the Inverkip Road tunnel underneath one of the main roads through Greenock. Now just before that one you'll see some sort of metal structure on the left there, and that's actually a set of steps down to the track bed, which has been built pretty recently. I'm not sure exactly why. I'm assuming it's for maintenance access, if they need to do inspections and maintenance along at this end of the line, which they'll still have to do even though it's closed, and they won't have to walk all the way along the way I've just come, which as you've seen is quite a long walk. So just before the steps there's a little stream or something goes underneath the railway. You can see the waterfalls there. So let's have a look in the Inverkip Road tunnel. It looks like it's sort of built in two parts. The first part's sort of flat beam bridge type structure, and then towards the end there's an arch, and there's these sort of alcoves in between there, as you'll see, as well as the structure number 67A. Now we're nearing the end of our explore. If you look ahead out of this tunnel, you'll see the mouth of another tunnel coming up. That's the Union Street tunnel. Unfortunately it's quite securely fenced and I'm not going to be able to get in there, so I'm going to have to turn back at this point. It's a shame because that's definitely the most interesting tunnel on the line. It's the longest, it's got signals surviving inside, it's got a nice ventilation shaft, but that's going to have to wait for another day. So for now I'm just going to walk back along the cutting, back through the Trafalgar Street tunnel and back to where I can get out and go back to my car. So thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this. Once again, I've enjoyed coming back here for another look and seeing a bit more of it this time that I didn't see previously, and hopefully I'll be back with another abandoned place to show you soon. Bye.